Hello friends, welcome to a fresh video, and today we are simulating the launch of the mera puthi, the International first geostationary satellite which launched on the geostationary communication orbit. This is the first satellite of Indonesia which is launched by the Falcon 9 Block 5 reusable refurbishment vehicle of the Spacex, and as you can see, this is the second reusable refurbishment of the Falcon 9 Block 5. So let's get launched. So let's begin it. Launch of the mera puthi. Let's go. And we are starting it from the startup, means we are starting it from minus 36 seconds because we have no more time. So we are cutting down the video and launching it. So let's get begin.
Minus 15 seconds.
Falcon 9 is the flight pressure.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
We are 1 minute and 7 seconds into flight, and as you can see, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off. Coming up next, you'll hear max Q.
Vehicle is experiencing maximum dynamic pressure.
And as you just heard, the vehicle is experiencing maximum dynamic pressure. That's the point at which the stresses on the Falcon 9 are highest than they are at any other point during the flight.
Command to stop.
Everything is looking nominal right now. Now coming up, we're going to have 3 events happening in rapid succession. The first is MECO, which stands for Main Engine Cutoff. That is where all 9 of the Falcon 9 first stage engines will shut down. That'll be followed by stage separation. That's where stage 1 will separate from stage 2. And then we'll have SCS1, or Second Engine Start 1. That is where that MVAC engine, that Merlin vacuum engine on stage 2 is going to ignite and carry stage 2 onto orbit. We hear that MVAC chill is looking good. That's where we bleed a little bit of that super cold liquid oxygen into the engine.
Set shutdown. MECO. Stage separation.
And see on your screen, we've had a successful stage separation and ignition of that second stage MVAC engine. Now coming up in about 25 seconds, we're going to have fairing deploy. So those fairing halves are going to split away from stage 2 and make their way down to Earth. And stage 2 will continue on with the mera puthi satellite onto its parking orbit. D had a really solid startup, and although the temperatures are looking really good, the burn is going nominally right now. And as you just saw, we just had a successful separation of that fairing. Once we get into the vacuum of space, we don't need it anymore, so we get rid of that extra mass. And as you just heard, second stage is on a nominal trajectory. Now, there are going to be 2 stage 2 burns for this mission. The first is this one that is taking the spacecraft to its parking orbit.
Acquisition of signal.
Once it shuts down, it'll coast for about 18 minutes before relighting over the equator to raise mera puthi to its deployment orbit, geostationary transfer orbit. Now, while stage 2 is doing its job, stage 1 is making its way back home down to Earth. Now it's going to execute 2 burns. The first is the entry burn, which is coming up in about 1 minute and 50 seconds. The first stage is traveling at roughly 2,300 meters per second. And what this 3-engine burn is going to do is assist gravity in rapidly slowing the stage down. If we didn't do that, it would overheat and it would break up. This slows it down and protects it as it enters the Earth's thicker upper atmosphere. Now, the second of those stage 1 burns is called the landing burn. This is a single engine burn where we light that center engine E9, and it brings the vehicle's velocity down rapidly from about 250 meters per second to about 2 meters per second in order to gently land the rocket on the drone ship. Now, stage 1 landing should occur just a second or 2 following second stage engine cutoff. So there's going to be a lot happening all at once, so watch closely for this next series of events. Now we're about 50 seconds away from that entry burn, but just note that once we recover this booster, we plan to fly it a 3rd time later this year. As mentioned before, this is possible due to those Block 5 upgrades, which brings Spacex closer to its goal of full and rapid rocket reusability.
We are in parking orbit. हमने भी वैसे अपना लैंडिंग मोड शुरू कर दिया है। अब ये लैंड होने वाला नहीं है क्योंकि इसको ट्रैजेक्टरी देख के मुझे पता चल रहा है।
Stage 1 entry shut down.
It is.
Stage 2 continues to follow a nominal trajectory.
So as you just heard there, stage 1 entry burn has concluded. Stage 2 is still looking beautifully. We're going to have that landing burn, that last final burn on stage 1. It's going to begin at about a minute or so. And then as I mentioned earlier, just a couple seconds after that, we're going to have SECO 1. Stands for Second Engine Cut Off 1.
तो इसमें जो अभी इवेंट हो गया वो शायद हमारी के सबसे नहीं, क्योंकि अभी हम कर रहे हैं कंट्रोल फर्स्ट स्टेज का और उसमें दिखा जा रहा है सेकंड स्टेज का कट ऑफ।
Stage 1 transonic. Falcon 9 is in terminal guidance.
So while we may have lost the view of the drone ship, the view of stage 1, we did get the call out that stage 1 is transonic and it's making its way on down to the drone ship right now.
कमेंट्री स्टॉप हो चुकी है, हमने सिग्नल खो दिया है हमारे ड्रोन शिप से। हम बहुत ही धीरे जा रहे हैं। क्या होगा ये लैंड? अगर ये एक बार लैंड हो जाए तो हम सेकंड स्टेज से हम पकड़े। शायद तो लैंड नहीं होगा क्योंकि इसकी स्पीड आप देख सकते हैं किस तरह से, और ये एरो भी हमें शायद तो होगा ही नहीं, कभी भी नहीं होगा। देखते हैं क्योंकि इसकी स्पीड कम तो हो रही है मीटर सेकंड के हिसाब से।
Hopefully we'll get that camera view back. So we lost the video right there, but hopefully we will get that back. Hopefully, but we have heard that we've had a successful second engine cutoff and that stage 2 is in a good orbit. Hopefully we can get a view on that drone ship if everything stabilizes, but if not, we'll give you an update on the status of the first stage once we get it. What we're hearing right now is that stage 2 is in a good orbit. It's in its nominal parking orbit. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little break. As you can hear, we got it. Awesome. This is the second landing of this booster. Landed successfully on board. Of course, I still love you. It's a great shot right there. Meanwhile, second stage is in a good orbit, as I mentioned before. It's going to continue to coast, and we're going to take a little break here and come back at T plus 26 minutes for second stage relight and then deployment of the Mera puthi satellite.
तो चलते हैं सेकंड स्टेज की ओर।
In front of you with the sun behind it, giving it a nice backlight. And successful separation. This is just third payload separation confirmed. You can see it's looking good. And with that brings Falcon 9's mission to a close today. And of course, that's the end of our webcast. on what we refer to as a payload adapter. The 45th Space Wing for providing range safety today, and to the FAA for licensing today's launch. We'd also like to thank all of our viewers for tuning into this late night.
और फिर ब्रेक खत्म हो चुका है और शो में कमेंट करें तो फिर आ गई है थोड़ी देर में आएंगी।
Stage 2 on what we refer to as a payload adapter, and after the stage signal is sent, there is a spring-loaded band around the base of the satellite. What it will do is springs inside the payload adapter that will gently push the Mera puthi satellite away from Falcon 9, and that spacecraft will continue on to its final destination in geostationary orbit. So payload separation should be in about 15 seconds. We'll be able to see it live, hopefully. And there you go. You can see the Mera puthi satellite just in front of you with the sun behind it, giving it a nice backlight. And success.